the Author to Author podcast series with award-winning author Pamela R Haynes.
Welcome to the podcast.
Dalgety Herbal Teas produce 100% natural high-quality organic teas using only the best ingredients. Available now from all major supermarkets, or please visit our website at dalgety.co. Dalgety Herbal Teas.
Good day, lovely listeners. I am Pamela R Haynes, host of the Author to Author podcast. News just in from Haynes HQ. My manuscript went to an editor this week, and I'm looking forward to my manuscript coming back to me in May 2022. So I am one step closer to my manuscript being published in July 2022. Watch this space. I have a fantastic author for episode 9, the penultimate episode of the season. Today's interview is with my friend and fellow author, Rezna Khatun. She'll be talking to us about her book, Why I Loved My Abuser. Let's jump straight into this episode. See you on the other side. Hi, Rezna. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Pam?
I'm not too bad, thank you. Thanks for joining me on the Author to Author podcast. And thank you for donating 2 copies of your book, Why I Loved My Abuser. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for having me, Pam.
So tell me, Rezna, whereabouts in the world are you from and where is your family based now?
People who know me, I was born in Britain and I call Britain my home, but my family background is from Bangladesh and we are based in East London, which I love and I adore. And I've always been here in East London. I was born in East London. I still live in East London and I absolutely love East London.
So you obviously then went to local schools. What schools did you go to?
I did. I went to a school in Bow called Wellington Way School for my primary school, and I was horrifically bullied there. I was taken out of that school because of the extreme bullying I was having. Then I went to another primary school, Malmesbury, which was in Bow. That's where I was born, Bow, E3. And then I went to an all-girls school, Sarah Bernard School, and throughout my whole school days, even Sarah Bernard School, I was a lonely child. I was bullied in that school because in them days, you either were white, black, or Asian. And because I looked a bit Oriental, I didn't fit in any of the categories, so nobody wanted me. Nobody wanted to be my friend. Nobody wanted me in the PE class, in the group. Nobody would choose, but I'll be the last one on the line. And the teachers would force them to choose me. Yeah, I was alone.
I was going to say, must have been an isolating time for you.
I was very isolated. I was bullied throughout my whole primary, secondary school, only because I looked different. And I was called names. They would compare me to Chinese people and say, oh, you look, but they would say it in a really horrible way. But for me, school was escapism from home. So the bullying I had in school, I could adapt to and accept, and I could live with it more than the abuse that I was having at home.
I'm going to pull you back a bit because we're going to get there. We're going to get there. But I've had the pleasure of meeting your family.
So I have 8 brothers and sisters, including myself. So there's 9 of us, a big family.
Wow. And where are you in that family? Are you the first child?
I am number 1.
You're number 1? Okay.
You know why
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were the eldest.
I'm number 1, and the reason I'm laughing, I get told I'm like the youngest because I'm so childish. They're always telling me off.
Well, that's why I had to check, because I thought you were the baby of the family.
No.
Not the eldest.
I'm number 1, Pam.
You're number 1, the eldest. So you went to local schools. When you finished school, what happened next? What did you do next?
So I didn't finish school. I was taken out of school when I was 14 by my parents for the arranged marriage that they had for me set up back home. So they manipulated me and they took me away. And they said to me that I'll be visiting my grandparents. And they pulled me out of school, lied to the school saying that I'm going on 2 weeks holiday, but they had other plans for me.
So, I mean, that's crucial because that's the difference, isn't it, between an arranged marriage and a forced marriage, because you had no idea what the plan was As far as you're concerned, you're going on a holiday, but
Yeah.
your parents had other plans. So tell
Yeah.
our listeners, you're 14 years old, going to Bangladesh for the first time. What was that experience like?
Do you know, I was actually quite happy because my mum and dad manipulated me and told me this wonderful story that I was going to go and visit my grandmother and I'm going to have this wonderful journey there and it's going to be all lovely. The weather is beautiful. I was looking forward to it because I was replacing that I'm going to get away from my school life. I'm going to escape that bullying and I'm going to escape my home life and I'm going to go back home and there's going to be no abuse. But what they had planned for me, I never, ever imagined, especially when it's your parents. They betray you and they tell you a fake story. And then you wake up and you realize it's not a real story. It's actually heartbreaking. So my dad actually told me on the aeroplane, and he said to me, I'm taking you back home. You're not going to your grandmother's. I'm actually going to get you married off. And literally, I wanted the plane to crash. And I wanted the plane to open up and I wanted to jump out the plane and literally die. But I had no escape. And I knew as a 14-year-old, I had to say to myself, I'm going to go ahead and do this and I'm going to see what happens. And I'm going to go along with the plan, but I will escape. And that's what stuck to me. I will escape.
So what happened when you landed in Bangladesh?
The man was waiting for me, the husband-to-be. Oh my gosh, Pam. It was very, very hot. And you can imagine I was a young, small 14-year-old child, petrified, scared, don't know what's going to happen. My father told me he's going to get me married off, which I was against as it is, because I was a very naive child. So if anybody would tell me anything, I would completely believe it and think it's 100% true. I didn't have any relationship. I never spoken to any boy. I went to an all-girls school. And the only people I had in my life was my brothers and sisters. We were very, very hostile. We weren't allowed to have friends. So imagine me landing in the hot weather, sweat coming off. My father's there who just told me a story, betrayed me, and all this setup is fake. I'm 14 and I see a 36-year-old man and he's smiling at me. And literally, I just want to die every second. I just want to die. And I don't know what I'm going to do because we've heard of stories in Bangladesh where you can't call the police. Police don't come and help you. Basically, you can pay off. And these are the stories that we grew up with, that we are powerless, especially for women. It's changed a lot now. As women, we're very powerless. You can't do anything. You can't call for help. Whatever's put up, you deal with it. So I faced this man and I'm like horrified. I get taken to his house and so I don't know any of his family. I don't know him. I don't know anybody except for my dad. My dad is against me because I'm not agreeing. I'm saying no. I discovered a stubborn side to myself then because the more they said, do it, yes, I would say no. And this is where my praying came in. This is where my belief in angels came in. And I started praying every day. And I literally used to think if I pray hard enough, the angels will come and fly me away because I couldn't see any escape.
Well, I don't want to give too many spoiler alerts away.
Yeah.
I want people to go out and buy your book. But somehow you managed to come back to the UK.
Yes.
So what happened then?
So I came back to the UK. Obviously, my mum was really upset. She saw me because she thought, oh, God, the troublemaker's here. God knows what she's going to do. I was working part-time in, I don't know if you remember, there was a BP petrol station in Stratford. So I was working and I met a Jehovah's Witness, a lady who was a Jehovah's Witness. God bless her. And I started talking to her and I was worthless because obviously something happened to me back home that made me like lose myself, lose my confidence. I was lost as a person. And I started talking to her and she was living in Finchley Central, North London. And she said to me, she has a small house there. And I said, you know, I'd like to rent a room with you if you don't mind. I still believe I was getting guidance because I was praying every day for escapism because there's no way I'm going to go back there again. And I knew this was my chance to escape. She said to me, you can have a small room in my house. I took the room and I told the BP petrol station that I want to transfer to North London. They transferred me. And I actually left a heartbreaking note explaining that was the first time I opened up because when I used to talk to my parents, they never used to listen to me. It was always their way. I didn't have a voice. So I wrote a really, really long letter, and I wrote it in a red pen. And the reason I wrote it in a red pen because I wanted them to take it serious, because they never listened to me. And I told them that I have left home and they have abused me mentally, physically, emotionally throughout my whole life. And I'm not willing to accept it anymore. I can't take it anymore. Literally, I'm choked on my throat. And as a young child, I've left them and I've gone. And that's when I started my life. But little did I know, Pam, round the corner was my biggest abuser.
Go ahead. Tell us the story.
So I was on my own. So I lived with two amazing ladies who were Jehovah's Witnesses. Although I was given a very, very strict Muslim upbringing, I didn't judge them because I took them face value as the kindness. They reached out to me. They gave me the hand. They gave me a place to stay. It was the kindness I appreciated. And I was so grateful for them coming into my life. So I lived with them for a year. And then I met my partner, who came to me like a knight in shining armor. And he said all the right things to me. Oh my God, he love bombed me. What he did, he took all my information and he showed me kindness and that he understands and he was there for me and he was very protective of me. But he actually became bigger abusers than my parents. I thought he was protecting me from my parents. He was protecting me from my abuse as a child. But he actually became the biggest, like the mafia abuser for me from everything that happened. And that was how it all started.
How long were you in a relationship with that man before you were able to escape?
So I was with him for 25 years. I know it's a very long time, but you have to understand, all I knew was abuse from my childhood. So for me, it was normal. It was very easy to manipulate me. It was very easy to emotionally, mentally abuse me because I'm already used to it from my childhood. It was very easy for me to see violence because I've seen it through my childhood. It was easy for me to see man and woman hitting together and then making up and then thinking it's normal. Even though I knew it was wrong, something wasn't right, I felt it was normal at the same time because it's what I saw when I was growing up. It was 20 years in the marriage, in the relationship. That's when I realized I was in an abusive relationship. I actually didn't know I was.
So at what point did I meet you on that journey?
You actually met me just 1 year before I left. God knows how God's planned this, because when I met you, I was very suspicious of you because I was a very suspicious person.
The word you used was a spy, because you were very concerned that people were sending spies into the community to report back to your parents or to your partner what was going on and what you were doing.
Yeah, I always think he's got spies on me because he used to know everything. And he stopped me from talking. He stopped all my friends and family. I didn't have anybody. So anybody new that used to come in. So we used to go to the karate club because he allowed the kids to do karate because they were so good. And he liked showing off that the kids have got the medals because obviously he hasn't got anything going on in his life. So when I met you, because you were always typing in the corner and I was very suspicious. I used to think, is Pam a spy? Has he sent Pam to spy on me? Like if I'm laughing?
You used to ask me like all the time, you used to ask me questions, are you a teacher? Because it would look as though I was marking my work, marking textbooks and so on. And then you would ask me again, and what is it that you do? And because of the nature of my work at that time, I didn't like to tell people what I did as well. So even I was suspicious as to why you asking so many questions. But, I saw somebody that was intelligent, caring, loved being around the children. And you used to travel up and down with the karate club as well. But tell me how influential the women that you were surrounded by at that time were to you. How did they help?
Honest to God, Pam, they actually came into my life as angels. Because if it wasn't for the karate club, so Jada has the red table, we had the karate table. So all the mums used to sit around to have a chat. And that's why I used to think you're a spy, because I used to think, is he sent a woman to see if I'm laughing, if I'm joking, because I wasn't allowed to do that? Am I chatting to other women? Am I getting information? And this is what I was suspicious of, because you didn't used to sit on our table. And then it was Erica who saw something in me, the fear in me. And she said to me one day, she said, Rezna, sit down. And I said, no, I can't sit down. I have to go and sit next to him. He needs me. And she said, but you spend all day together. Why does he need to sit with you? And she sat with me and she said, Rezna, it's not normal. What's happening to you? It's not normal. And I said, what do you mean it's not normal? She goes, it's not normal. She said, you walk like this. You're always scared. You're very anxious. You're always running, going to the car straight away. It's like he's got you on a leash. She said, I don't believe you. You need to sit down and tell me everything. And I said, I can't. I have to go to the car. And that's how she broke everything down.
There was also another lady that was there as well. Two ladies.
What happened was, when Erica broke it down into, so obviously there was another friend of mine called Uzma, and she was a solicitor. And then we had Tessa, who was the physiotherapy. So when they three found out everything, oh gosh, they would when we used to travel together, they were taking me around the corner. Rezna, this is not normal. Have you done this? Do you think this? Do you think that? They will really dig into my brain. They did not let me escape. Every time I go to the club, have you sorted it out? Have you spoken? And I was like, I can't talk. I can't say anything. I was a broken woman. But what they did gave me a wake-up call, because what I did, I started looking on YouTube. So remember, I'm hostile community, friends and family. I don't have anybody in my life except for these three ladies in the karate club. I used to go to the toilet and I used to say, I've got constipation. And I would go on YouTube and I would read about controlling people, domestic abuse, narcissistic abuse. And YouTube became my teacher. YouTube became my knowledge. And I would then delete everything because I didn't want him to find out that I'd been searching, because he will get really angry, he will get aggressive. And then I started discovering sexual abuse in a marriage or in a relationship, because that's something my brain wouldn't accept, that it would be sexual abuse as well. And I was like, oh my God. And this light bulb came in my brain. And I just kept studying, kept reading. I had 1,000 and thousands of research I did on abuse. And I would quickly delete everything in fear. And I was aware that he was very, very intelligent man, because he was a narcissist. Now, what me, a small lady Rezna, going to do? So I had to learn. I had to train myself that I am strong, that I have got the courage to do this. And this is why it took me 5 years to get to a point where I was able to ask him one question: why are you always angry? And from that question led me to leaving him.
I mean, what you're describing is classic as to it's not straightforward. You just can't pick up your bags and just go. The abuse can be to the extent where you don't know left from right. You're in a state of confusion, state of isolation as well, because you describe that you're not speaking to your parents or your siblings, or you're seeing them on the sly. I think I read in the book, so that he doesn't find out. So it's not straightforward for women just to get up and escape. It takes a process. And for you, that process took 5 years for you to eventually. And certainly I was part of that journey to see you transform from this very suspicious, shy, naive person to the person that I saw at your book launch, who was all powerful. And you have written this book. I love the cover. And I know that it was a female photographer who did that for you as well. Yes, she did. And I like the idea that the labels are falling off of you as well, almost. Yes. So as though they were pasted on you, and you're finding a way to be a survivor. It's just a really good cover. It's just really, really cool. So why did you decide to write a book about it all?
Well, Pam, like I say, God has a plan. God had a plan for me, and that was started with you. Because if I didn't meet you, I wouldn't know what is it like to write a book. And that idea wouldn't come into my head. Because when I was suspicious of you and I kept accusing you of being a spy, I think at the end you mentioned that you were writing a book. And then you had your book launch. And then you invited me and Erica, and I came along to that book launch very naively. And you said to me, Rezna, would you be interested in writing a book? Why don't you come to the book launch? And I thought, oh my God, this woman is mad. What would I write about? I didn't even go to school. I couldn't even put a sentence together at that time to speak, because I was so lost, confused. I had brain fog. My sentences were slurpy, upside down. What is this woman saying? Then Erica said, let's go. I thought, oh, let's go. It was round the corner to me, so I popped in. And then you introduced me to Marcia, and you rolled the ball for me. And I spoke to Marcia. You actually took me And you said, come and meet Marcia. This is the publisher. If you're thinking about writing a book, there's Marcia. And we started talking. And then Marcia said, whatever you want to write, put it down and just send it to me and we'll take it from there. And it just started from there. But you started the ball rolling and I thought, what am I going to call this book? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a prayer. I'm going to do a meditation. And I got the title through my meditation. And I just started writing that every couple of weeks or months, you would text me and you would say to me, how is the book going? And I was like, oh my God, this woman doesn't leave me alone. You know, I would be nice to you on the text. She's nagging me so much. Why doesn't she leave me alone? But it's because you saw something in me that nobody else saw it, you know. So you helped me on my journey and I wrote the book. And even when I did the book launch, I wasn't going to do a book launch. And you said to me, Rezna, you're not doing a book launch. I'd love to meet your family. You need to do a book launch. You've come so far. And yeah, then I said, oh God, she's talking about a book launch now. And I did moan at you again. And then I did the book launch and it was so wonderful. You came, Marcia came. And the book just took off.
How easy was it for you to write that kind of story?
It
to
was
revisit
hard.
All of that again?
This is the other thing, Pam. When we come out of a toxic relationship, we think we're okay. It's not. That's when you face what happened, why it happened, and the feelings that you've soaked in your muscle is releasing now. And the pain is exposed. The fear is exposed. And this is why a lot of women and men turn to drugs and alcohol to cover that horrific pain. So I went into therapy and I realized everything happened to me from my childhood. To realize it was my mum's fault, my dad's fault, especially my parents, people who meant to protect me, love me, who put me in that vulnerable position. It was heartbreaking and I was physically ill. When I used to write a couple of sentences, I would be ill for 2-3 days. Sometimes I will give up. I wouldn't write again for weeks and weeks. And you would text me and you would say, how's the book writing going? And I would pretend and say, yeah, it's going great. And then I'd have a little moan at you. Then I thought, oh, let me start again. And, you know, I would start writing again because you've given me a reminder. Yeah, it was hard. It was therapeutic, but I also did go in counseling myself because I needed to make sense of what's happened to my life because a big chunk of my life was gone to abuse. And I didn't want that to be repeated to my kids. I didn't want that to be glorified, that it's normal. A man can treat a woman like that, or even a woman can treat a man like that. And I didn't want my son to think it's normal, my daughter to accept men like that. So it was hard. I'm not going to say it was wonderful. It was really hard.
I mean, what you're describing there is a period after the relationship that you spent on yourself trying to recover, including therapy. And I know that your personal thing that you like to do is go into the gym, and that's part of your recovery. So tell me about that well-being side of you.
When I was younger, I had disorder. I was bulimic. That was because of the abuse I was having. I felt I wasn't good enough. I was told every day I was ugly, that I was dark-skinned and nobody would want me. You know, this type of thing I had from my parents. So I was bulimic because I was a bit chubby. So my mum would call me fatty. My dad would say, oh, she's getting fat. Like, you've met my sisters. They are very, very fair-skinned, very beautiful girls. So I was bulimic and I joined the gym when I was 16 to combat my bulimia, which I did. But my partner stopped me from going to the gym. He stopped me doing home videos. He would say to me, you can't do any home videos. I don't want you looking at men when you do the home videos. So he's cut that off. So as soon as I left him on the 6th of October. On the 9th of October, I went and joined the gym. That was my escapism. That was where I wanted to go because I had this thing in my head that I need to sweat. When I sweat, I'm releasing all the toxics that I've taken in from him and from my childhood, from my muscles. And that gave me hope. That gave me joy. That gave me escapism going there. I did go there and used to talk a lot with all the people. I used to disturb them, but I used to do a little bit of a workout as well. So I joined the gym and I found it healing. I found it gave me confidence when I used to look around the gym and I used to see women of different shapes and sizes and different color. And I used to see how confident they are. And that made me believe that we all come in different shapes and sizes, but we just embrace what we have.
Thanks for that, Rezna, because it means that there's more than one strategy that a woman can have when she's coming out of those kind of relationships. And for you, it was therapy, it was going to the gym and being very much aware of your well-being and everything else. So how well is the book doing?
I'll be honest, the book is doing very well. It's been 2.5 years, coming into 3 years, and I'm still doing interviews. I'm still selling. I am quite laid back and lazy, as you and Aurea would confirm that. But I'm a great believer in taking things slowly and letting everything flow by the universe and God's plan. I went for a really big healing process. And I wanted to enjoy my time because I felt I missed out so much on life. And I wanted to spend time with my friends because I met nephews and nieces that I've never seen them before. So I had to be introduced as a new auntie in the family. And my family have been absolutely amazing. And I had to learn who I was as Rezna. I had to discover my attitude, my character, my beliefs again, what I like, what I don't like, what I want to wear, what I don't want to wear. If I can leave the house, or if I can't leave the house, I can visit friends and family. I can drink a tea if I want to be tea. I can leave the dishes for a day or two if I want to. I'm not controlled. I'm not told what to do every day.
You don't have to be suddenly a marketing person or a PR person and social media expert and always on it. You can take things and do things your way, and you've had your success from doing things your way as well, which I really admire. But tell us, how did the opportunity come about for you to end up on Bangladeshi TV?
Gosh, I think it's because I talk a lot, Pam. So, when I see any events, whether it's one person, whether I'm talking in front of 10 people, 2 people, I am there. As long as I'm talking about domestic abuse, I'm raising awareness, I am there. So I ended up going to an event in Tower Hamlets, and it was just a group of women who do craft work as healing. And I was speaking to a couple of the ladies there, and then they suggested to me, they said, "Oh, I know a so-and-so, would you like to appear on Bangladesh TV?" And me, I get carried away. And I said, yeah, that would be wonderful. Little did I know they'll be knocking on my door with the camera. And I had my flip-flops on, and the guy said to me, "Oh, sister, would you like to wear a different type of shoe?" I was in shock that they were there. I was like, "No, flip-flops is fine." And then I changed my shoe, and, I ended up being on Bangladesh TV, and I was so scared because obviously I'm from Bangladesh, and I didn't want to be, I don't know, I felt like I didn't want to disappoint them. Sometimes that still creeps up on me. Anything I do, am I good enough? Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Is people going to think I'm real? Are they going to believe me? Are they going to like me? That creeps up on me. And I thought, you know what? They're at my door. That means it's meant to be. They're in my garden, sitting down on the chair, so it's meant to be. So I quickly changed my shoes, and I just went in the garden, and we did the interview, and absolutely went amazingly. And since then, I've been on a couple of little things here and there. Quite a few people have texted me. And funny thing is, when I was younger, one of the ladies that used to come to my house and who used to bully me, she saw me on Bangladesh TV. She was the first person who rang my mother and said, "Did you know your daughter was on Bangladesh TV?" And my mum said, "She laughs too much. She can't do nothing on TV." And she put the phone down.
Oh, my gosh. So the family have a superstar in their midst, really.
Not a superstar, but they do think I talk a lot and I'm very childish.
So tell me, other than writing and going to the gym, what do you do to relax?
Oh gosh, my number one is lighting my candle and praying and meditating, because when I decided to leave that relationship, every day I would light a candle and I would just pray to God, and I would say, "Please, God, give me the strength and the courage to leave this man, because I'm a coward. I can't do it. You need to do something, God. You need to take me out of this situation somehow." So even now, I have all my candles everywhere. And every day I light a candle in my house for my house to be blessed, my house to be healed, for my kids to be healed. And I light candles every day, and I sit down, I do half an hour meditation, praying. So I do praying in my thoughts, and I'm grateful to God for the freedom I have. Every day is a blessing, Pam. And I love spending time with my friends and family, drinking tea, having a meal. And sometimes I do go clubbing.
Oh, good for you. So
Yeah.
tell us more about the candles, because you don't just light candles.
So I discovered I can do energy healing. I think it's because when you hit rock bottom, you find something within yourself to come out. Through my meditation, through my belief in God and angels, I discovered I can do energy healing. So I make energy healing candles. It's not for everybody. A lot of people don't believe in energy healing, but end of the day, we are all human body. So I make them, I meditate on them. It's a process I have to do in order to make them. And whoever buys them, they do absolutely love them. And I'm not a massive seller because it's a very niche market energy healing candle. So I do them here and there. When somebody wants to buy them, I make them particular for that person. So I can't make 10, 20 in one go. So if you were to ask me, oh, I'd like a candle from you, something's happening in my life, I'd like to find some peace and some healing, I will make it in your name with your specific specification, what you've asked for with the healing, and then I will give that to you.
And I have one. I have a candle of yours.
Thank you so much.
So thank you very much for that. And for the explanation as well. You know, you're not out there to just sell 100 candles.
No.
They will have to be personalized for that individual, for that specific purpose.
Yeah.
And then you send the candle out to them. I like the idea that the candle has been blessed as well.
I only use natural beeswax because when you're doing healing or you're meditating, you can't have wax that's toxic. There's no smell added because that's toxic. There's no color added, that's toxic. So it has to be all 100% organic, natural, because if you're meditating over a candle and you're praying or you've just lit a candle, you don't want no toxics happening in your home and within your body.
So, Rezna, is there another book coming?
So I have started the second book, which is a continued of Why I Loved My Abuser. It's more in depth because on the first book, I didn't go into details because it was very deep. Because I was going through a healing process, my children were going through a healing process. We were accepting what's happened. We were dealing with what happened. We had to come over that trauma. So the second book I have started and I've written the first chapter. My computer has broken down at the moment, but I will get that fixed. But it will be done this year and it will be very more in depth. And I will go into more details because I've come to a place now where I can go into details and believe it's okay. It wouldn't be so traumatizing as the first book when I was writing.
And also you have more strategies in place now, more of a community around you, people who, you know, supporting you on your book journey. So that's wonderful. Do you have a title or working title?
I was going to call it something, but I've decided to call it the same title, but continue, because it's the same. So I will still call it Why I Love My Abuser Continued. I'm taking the same story from the same situation, but more in depth. So because this book has made who I am today. So I thought it would be nice to continue on that journey.
And that's fantastic. And when did you say you were likely to get that book published?
Last one, it took me 8 or 9 months. I'm hoping I should be done by October.
And you're going to have a book launch?
Another one.
Why not? Why not? It's a good way of getting people together and getting people out to support you. Do
you know what? I might do a book launch and I might do it in my house. As you know, I love celebrating my home. All my amazing female ladies, because I wasn't allowed to have visitors before. Now I open my door and I invite friends and family all the time. And I absolutely love it. You know, it will be lovely. Just maybe if I finish by September and it's nice and sunny, we can all go in the garden. I think that would be really amazing because it will be in the home that I love, that I adore sharing with everybody. And it will be very authentic. It's in my house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I look forward to that. If an invitation's coming my way, I look forward to that.
Oh, definitely. I'm your number one.
Okay. If people want to get hold of you and follow you on social media, what are your social media handles?
So my Instagram page is called Healing Energy Within, and it's one word. On the book, in the book at the back, I put it there as well, Healing Energy Within, and they can follow me on Instagram. on my Instagram page, it's not all about the book, it's about healing as well. So I put all the gym things. I'm not an expert in the gym, but it's helped me with my journey. And I do believe anybody who's going through any like mental health or abuse or anything, and you've come out of it, join a gym, find something you like in the gym. It doesn't have to be a rigorous workout. It can be yoga, it could be swimming. It could even be going and sitting in the sauna for half an hour a day, just to get that release. Find something within yourself to find that peace, that healing, instead of turning to toxic behavior, because it is very, very easy. It's a very thin line when you're in that pain and you're just looking for an answer to fall into substance abuse. I've seen it happen too many times. I want to do it myself, but I was strong enough to not to go there. But I was very vulnerable. I was on a thin line and I wanted to block my pain with substance. Although I've never done it before, but I felt that was the answer for me.
So if people want to contact you about your candles, again, it will be on your Instagram page, Healing Energy Within.
Yes.
Well, Rezna, I cannot believe that we have come to the end of our interview already.
Have we really, Pam?
Yeah, we've done nearly 40 minutes. You've got number one fan here other than me. My dad has read your book as well. So I'd love you to come over and to meet him. And if my listeners haven't gathered yet, Rezna and I are practically neighbours. We're down the road from each other. So yes, you must come over and, meet him, because I know that he has a lot of questions arising from your book as well. So you're reaching people, Rezna, locally, nationally and internationally.
Thank you, Dad, for reading my book.
So I wish you all the best for the future. Looking forward to the second book coming out. And no doubt we will get an opportunity to speak very soon.
Thank you for having me. I love you so much.
Take care now. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Author to Author podcast. It is competition time now. Rezna comes from a large family. Including Rezna, how many children are there in the family? To win a copy of Rezna's book, contact me on Instagram at Loving the Brothers Author, or on Facebook on my author page, Loving the Brothers by Pamela R Haynes, and leave me the correct answer there. The competition closes on Friday at 5 p.m. British Summer Time. Good luck and have a good week ahead. Bye for now.
Please join Pamela R Haynes for another Author to Author podcast coming soon.